The Vampire Diaries Season 7, Episode 2, Never Let Me Go. As you guys can see, I'm here with Milady. I did something pretty interesting for the start of this season because I actually reviewed the premiere of this and the originals together, which I've never done. So, I guess for these first 2 episodes, doing some weird stuff. Because combining 2 shows and now you're in with this.
And
I don't know if you'll be joining me for other episodes, but that's up to you. But in this episode, we had a pretty typical thing for Damon, where he is, of course, hated by everyone. Like, Stefan, like, oh, no one wants you here, stuff like that. Matt hates, well, he hates vampires in general, but it's always Damon. And then we have the heretics coming after everyone now because of Malcolm being killed off in the last episode. So it was pretty interesting how we got just a little bit of backstory, like the tiniest bit, really, and mostly it revolved around, I think the funeral gave us more backstory than anything.
Yeah.
It was like, this is how we knew him, although it doesn't matter because he's dead. So.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared about Malcolm. Nobody cares that he's dead. The only people that care about him are those 5 crazy ticks, as Damon called them. They're all basic to me. I don't care about them. I hate them, actually, so maybe I do care a little bit. But, I mean, and that's probably what they're aiming for, is to have the mom be, like, the most hated person on the show, so it'll be that much more satisfying when she gets the same treatment that Kai got. Damon kind of sneaks up in, which I'm really looking forward to. So, but as far as Malcolm is concerned, I'm sorry, I don't care about him. If they're looking to get sympathy by having that dialogue, oh, he helped me, I let out the biggest sigh/groan during that part.
Just didn't matter. We didn't know him, so like right now, none of them matter really.
Well, no.
So even the mother.
The
mother, yeah, like you said.
They come off as being pretentious, and of course their mindsets are completely outdated. And they were murderers before. It's not that they're new to us. Well, in my case, it's not that they're new to me. It's just that I know that there's nothing that they can do to make these one-dimensional characters in any way appealing, in a way that I would care about them or what happens to them. Like, they're just there so that Damon can kill them in the end. That's really what they're there for, just like Kai was. And oh, was that so satisfying when he did that.
I think they all have elements that are interesting. Like, Valerie, the sort of twist where she kind of like Stefan was like, no big deal. But I like the fact that she was, I guess she wasn't nice to Caroline because we found out the only reason she did that was so she couldn't really be with Stefan, which is just she was jealous, I guess. Basically. And it also makes me wonder if she was kind of stalking him, but I guess we'll see how that goes with the journal entries and stuff, and if they ever actually had a relationship or if it just, continued on.
Can we talk about something? Mm-hmm. Can we talk about how the Vampire Diaries is constantly playing my man's Matt and my girl Bonnie? Constantly. He lives. He's more immortal than anybody. And he's human. He is. Just constantly. I can't.
I mean, it's him, Bonnie, and Alaric have died the most. And Alaric comes out on top because he always, it's either, like the last time he died or the time before that was he became an original vampire, basically. So he got like an upgrade, but with Bonnie and Matt, it's just like, Matt just dies and comes back. Bonnie always either dies and comes back or gets trapped and comes back in the next season.
She's been put through so much. They find new ways to torment her with every season. And then, when they don't need her, she doesn't get a single line. And then when they do need her, it's like, oh, Bonnie, you're a witch. We need you to come and be a witch. And we're either going to guilt you into it or we're going to force you to do it. And then we're going to take you completely for granted. And when we don't need you, we're just not going to focus on you as a character at all. Like, she's either there to be, tortured.
Well,
or
tortured or the problem solver.
Yeah, exactly. Those are her only 2 roles. And I feel like she has more dimension than that as a character. Certainly more dimension than the mother, I guess. What is her name? Right, see? You don't even care about her.
I'm horrible with names, but I only know Malcolm because they said it so much. And then the mother is just
basic.
The mother.
She's
basic. The mother.
She's a basic bitch.
But I call her the mother. I remember Valerie and Malcolm because he died and they kept saying his name. Mm-hmm. Valerie because, I guess because it was the end of the episode, so she was the last person whose name I heard, and that's why I remember that. But everyone else, I don't really. And Bo, because it's. Because he don't. Normally, Bo just means man, so I just, for some reason, even in the first episode, I remembered that.
Like, you're going to give him something, like, that's interesting about him. You have to, of course, make it interesting by telling us why the person is like that. So they want to say that I forget what the two girls, Katie Sue, Mary Beth, or something like that, the hyphenated girl's name, and then her friend Nora, or the girlfriends,
I think that's what, Nora,
the ones that are in the relationship. That's supposed to be their interesting thing, and they're like the mean girls of the pack. But okay, but why are they like that though? Like, I know that What's-Her-Face cuts them a lot of slack and lets them get away with murder, so to speak. I'm like, she lets you all get away with murder. You massacred a whole town, and she still, like, loves you inexplicably. Like, her love is completely inexplicable. And I think that's the thing I hate most about her. But, yeah, like, you want us to care about these people, then you have to not only give them characteristics that are unique, but you have to explain why they're like that. Because they all just seem like a-holes for no reason. And the mom, like I said, she's basic. A bunch of basic behavior. She acts like she should get any sympathy from anyone. Her and her pack of murderers. And that is probably what they're aiming for it to incite this kind of hatred. So.
And I think it works. Right now, it's only 2 episodes, but it's already more than enough. And she was in, like, what, the last, maybe 8? Or something in the last season, the mother.
I think so.
Yeah, like last 8 or so, and then in all of that, she wasn't in villain territory yet, but she was still definitely just.
I knew
all she was doing was going towards the season and helping them out.
No, I knew she was basic from the beginning. I always hated her. I was like, she's sinister. I knew she was sinister.
She abandoned Damon and Stefan, and it's like she just does not even remotely give a crap about them. Even when they first met, it was like.
And where does
it was almost like she was like, meh.
Where does the holier than thou attitude come from? Like, I understand that their dad was abusive. I get that. But where does that holier than thou attitude that she has come from? Who told you were God? Is it just the fact that you have powers? And, I mean, I feel like her.
She doesn't have magic, does she? She's just a vampire, right?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Pretty sure. I think she's just a vampire. She might not be. I don't know. We haven't seen her do anything. But I think that's just because she doesn't, like, it's all the other characters fighting, and she's kind of like the one in the middle, but it's obvious what side she's on. It's just that she doesn't do it herself. But I was thinking about that when we were watching it. Like, I can't remember if she has magic powers, or if she just helped turn them, and they just happen to be siphons as vampires as well.
Speaking of hoes and being hoed, what's up with Lorenzo? Like, I actually, like, they did give backstory on why he is the way he is. So I actually give a crap somewhat about Lorenzo. I think he's interesting because he feels that nobody loves him.
I didn't notice that was happening.
He feels that nobody loves him, and he feels like he deserves better. So he'll really just fall in with whoever he thinks will give him any sort of, who will care about him in any way. And he claims to care about Caroline, but of course he's got to fall in, of course, with the mom, and that was a really interesting twist at the end. I think he has
actual feelings for her, and it's not just.
And she kind of smiled.
A little at the end, yeah. Like,
and I was like,
oh,
great.
Hair.
I was like, that is just not a team I'm looking forward to. But what I am looking forward to is Bonnie and Matt teaming up. Not really because I feel like there's a potential romance there, because I don't feel that way, but kind of because I feel like they're both fed up in a sense. And they're going to aim that towards the heretics, even if they're kind of just fed up altogether. Like, they're both fed up that their town is not what it used to be.
Yeah. Just all the circumstances.
Just all the circumstances and everything they've been through. I think that they need to sort of tag that into the journey that they're about to go on. Is that they're angry about everything, because I'm angry for them. Like, they're constantly killing them, bringing them back to life. Bonnie is constantly, cleaning up after the vampires, and Matt is constantly serving as a distraction or bait or food. Like, he's been bitten several times, and it's not, the whole thing is the least fair to those two characters. So I think that I'm looking forward the most, not to anything else in the show, but seeing them kick some vampire booty.
That'd be pretty cool. I think what's interesting, because in the last episode they did it where it was like Bonnie and Damon, and they kind of had to team up, and this was Bonnie and Matt, and that doesn't work as a triangle because, of course, Damon is just like, whatever Matt, and even in this episode, he was like, if he doesn't give up his life, he knows I'll just kill him anyway, and then whatever, and that was basically where he ended it, like, no solution. So as a triangle that could work, if it weren't for Damon, is sort of like this wild card because they all feel the same way. It's like they all just want to get revenge and get the town back. Like Damon, more so for Elena than anything else, but it's still the same thing. Like they still, I mean, also his house that he seems to care a lot about. Having been kicked out of the house. So for those two reasons, they all kind of have something, but it wouldn't work as a trio. It's like either Bonnie and Damon or Bonnie and Matt, because Damon and Matt just doesn't really work.
It doesn't. I don't think they're going to get over that. It's not a manufactured conflict, kind of like the manufactured conflict that I think is about to take place, which you kind of guess. Alaric and the Phoenix or the Dracula or whatever stone that he has.
Yeah,
the Moonstone, which is basically what it is. A a worthless rock that they probably picked up on the beach somewhere and they decided to make it the Phoenix Stone.
It was cool.
Lazarus Stone?
It was Phoenix.
Phoenix
like,
Stone.
Phoenix rising from
He
the
knows
ashes
that
stuff.
it's evil, but I mean, they're constantly playing him too. Anybody that he loves, and he's just got to go through so much.
He's died a bunch and then lost people too.
And he actually cares. Like Matt is getting to the point. I feel like he's rapidly approaching the point where he's not gonna care. He's probably gonna turn into some sort of vampire hunter in the future, which again I'm looking forward to. They better not kill him.
Yeah, he started it last season, and now it's kind of like they have vampires that are way too powerful to just be like, just to hunt. So so he's kind of started it, and then now he's just trapped in like this really weird position where can't exactly hunt the 6 people. Obviously, there's only like 4. There's like 5 people on each side, so it's if somebody dies, it's one of these people. All the villains are in the house, and all the heroes, I guess, are in the house. I mean,
They
Bonnie's in college.
I'm sorry, they can't sacrifice anybody else on the show. They've already got rid of Elena. So I'm pretty confident that Bonnie and Matt are not going to die. But if the two of them, I would feel like that's such an injustice because they have not. I mean, I've given Matt, I think, a little bit more screen time than they have Bonnie throughout the entire series, but I would just like to see some.
I think they both got a lot last season for sure. I think Bonnie, of course, because she had like her own storyline, like her and Damon when they were in, was it 1994 or 5 or something like that, and then even after that, she was the one there with Kai. And Matt had like his official turn to be like, I want to be a vampire hunter because he was tired of everybody getting killed off, and he was kind of starting to go after people. Yeah, and Jeremy's. I don't know what they're gonna do if they're gonna actually bring him back this season. Oh, yeah.
I can tell you why, because I also watch a show called Chicago Fire. Spoiler alert: he's a new firefighter recruit / candidate in the house for them. And that was really surprising for me to see him because he arrived sort of towards the end of the episode on Chicago Fire. But
so he is officially gone.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a concern of you guys anymore because he's not coming back.
So that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck because they could have done a lot more with him too. So they just need to stop. Like they just focus way too much on that triangle, Damon, Steph, and Elena. And I'm kind of relieved that she's not there anymore. But I feel like this episode has a lot of potential to open up some new territory for all of the characters, and I hope they take advantage of it.
And we got, I think the 2 biggest things in this episode, for me personally, I think, was seeing how the Phoenix Stone works, which was the simplest we've ever seen anything, when he just put it on a dead body, and it started to wake up, so I'm assuming it has to stay on whoever is dead permanently, I would assume, and, the sort of future thing, but I wanted to talk about the Phoenix stuff because what happened with Bonnie.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if Joe is gonna be the vampire hunter that's in the future, because she saw like she saw people with like the little X marks that Bo has, and Stefan gets in the future, and it makes me wonder if the Phoenix Stone corrupts people and it just turns them into hunters.
Here's something I hadn't thought of. Joe was pregnant when she died. So what if she wakes up because of that stone and brings those babies to term? I believe that they will be the Antichrist. That's something I hadn't thought of. Because of the simplicity of how it works, like you said, was really distracting. There's no spell, like you just...
No.
I'm like, okay, so... And that was just in a museum. Like, that wasn't locked away in a tomb somewhere at the bottom of the ocean. Like...
A Maritime Museum in...
Right.
Wherever that is, like I forgot what they said. It was like New York, I think. That's where it is. I forgot.
Right, and clearly somebody somewhere knew what it could do. So I don't feel like that's the kind of thing you would just put in a museum. That's the kind of thing you would hide away from the world. But yeah, what if she comes back and brings those babies to term? And
like
they're the
demon
Antichrist.
kids.
Right, demon children, essentially, is what they will be. And they'll probably grow up super fast, just like that, because that's for plot
That's how it
convenience.
always
That's
happens,
that's
yeah.
how it always happens. You're right.
I don't know, I guess that could be the case. And if she isn't the one who's the hunter, then there's still this link to the stone because Bonnie's visions had people with the little X mark. So this hunter is tied to the stone. If I could remember her name, the mother though, she mentioned it in the last episode that that's what she wanted Enzo to steal, and they didn't talk about it in this one. But it brings people back, and I'm pretty sure that was before Malcolm died. So she wants that for something else too, to bring
I'm glad
somebody else back.
Because I pretty much.
Yeah, because she didn't mention it. They didn't mention it at all in this one, and
No.
it was just like, I want this Phoenix Stone, and she may have just said it was a red jewel. I don't know if she said the name or not in the last one, but she wants it too. So they didn't really touch on that, but we find it. It brings people back to life super easy. So either she's got it for insurance, or wants it for insurance, or there's somebody else, like another person out there that we still don't know
Which would
about.
be interesting. Because we just found out about the 6th heretic,
Yeah.
or 7th. Like, there were supposed to be 7 of them all together, right? Where was it 6 altogether?
I think it was 6.
It's supposed to be 6 with Malcolm.
6 heretics, including her, I
Yep,
guess.
and then 7, and Damon brings it up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember that ever being mentioned, but it is something that I feel like could have potential. Like, they're gonna get Elena's body back, hopefully put it somewhere safer. I'm just getting my predictions. But
they had the thing in the last episode where Damon was in the casket. That was Elena next to him. So they get the casket back somehow. Whatever his plan is, works, and it's probably just to threaten him because that's what Damon does.
yeah,
But that works, and then like who knows what all this other crazy stuff is because they had the 3 years in the future thing. The last episode was Stefan and Damon running from this huntress, and then this one was Caroline just as like a news reporter, so she kind of just left that life and also has a fiance.
yeah.
And I believe in the first thing the fiance was the one that mentioned going back to Mystic Falls, right?
Yes.
So it's someone, I don't know, who do you think it would be?
The fiance?
Yeah.
It might be, oh, well,
Well,
it,
'cause they said
it can't be
it's obviously-
Enzo. You think it
yeah.
might be Enzo? Because they kind of had a...
That's what I was thinking, like, possibly, I doubt it would be Matt, because they'd have to make all of that happen.
Again, because
in this
they've already dated.
season. Yeah, that's true, too.
They've already dated, so, like, they kind of closed the book on that already. And she said not to say the name Stefan, right? Not Damon,
Yeah,
it was
so
Stefan.
it's not Stefan, yeah.
Stefan is going to do something to piss her off, which shouldn't be that hard because she gets pissed at the... She doesn't have a whole lot of patience. Bonnie does, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they have a lot of potential now. Hopefully they don't squander it.
Yeah, so it could be Enzo, it could be someone new that we still haven't met yet. Because it is only the second episode. They could easily throw some random immune person that's not human just right in there. Mm-hmm. So, who knows? That was very surprising to me, though.
That it wasn't Stefan?
Just in general, that she, when they did that. Because when we had it with Stefan and Damon, it's like they're still just doing the Vampire Diaries thing. But with her, it was like she quit the whole life, basically. Just kind of went to work. And that was it.
But, like... people are going to start to notice that you're not aging. Like, that you're not aging and you can't have kids. Like, you can be engaged all you want, but you can't have kids because maybe she'll adopt and try to appear to look normal for a while, but then won't she have to move, like, over and over and over again? And
yeah. At some
she'll
point
have
she'd
to,
have
right?
yeah.
She'd have to because people would start to notice, like, hey, it's been 10 years of the company and you still like a 17-year-old, which she became a vampire at what, 17 or 18?
Yeah.
In high school. So she can try to pull off being an adult, but by the time she hits 30 or even 27, they're gonna be like, not
There's
a wrinkle or gray
happened.
hair, huh? Not one.
Yeah.
So.
But that was pretty interesting. So it really makes me excited because that's one of my favorite things. That was probably my favorite part of the premiere was the flash forward, even though it was literally the beginning and end of the episode. They're clearly going to keep that going. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the other characters, and it will show us what's happening with everyone else. And we really only have 4 people. Well, 5, I guess, if you count Alaric. But we only have them, and then Their seasons
6.
are like...
You need to count Matt.
Yeah, so we got Matt. But they showed Stefan and Damon together, so that's 2 right there.
Mm-hmm.
We got Caroline, and so we have Bonnie, Matt, and Alaric. So possibly only 3 more episodes, and then would they jump to the villains, do you think?
I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Because that would probably show us who is alive, 3 years. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, this season if we're going to...
I want them all to die by the end of the season. Maybe leave one alive just for future conflict. But
which they probably will.
I want to see some more
out
hearts
of
get
6
ripped
people
out.
or something like that. I think someone might make it to the next season. And
if it's the mom, I swear to God. She should be the first to go. They're probably going to keep one of the younger ones.
I think if anyone's going to survive, personally, I think it would either be Bo or Valerie, because Valerie has the connection to... well, technically, they both have a connection to Stefan, because Bo was hunted by whoever this woman is, and Stefan's going to be hunted. And Valerie, of course, has feelings for Stefan. So those are really the only 2 that I could see where it actually affects going forward, like emotion-wise and character-wise, affecting the whole group.
I don't like that, though. I don't think that this show needs another femme fatale sort of romance. I think we've had enough of that. I mean, we had Catherine, and there's been a few others, I think, that, are so in love that they're just willing to chop anybody's heads off because of it. You know what I mean? And I just feel like we can do without that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they skipped on the whole relationship thing this whole season. I mean, obviously, they kind of prove already in this episode the Caroline Stefan thing isn't going to be a relationship for too long.
Yeah.
But
maybe Bonnie can undo it, but they have to get her back first. So.
But I liked this episode, though. I mean, the ending, the future stuff wasn't as cool to me as the stuff because they introduced, like, this crazy new villain thing. But I thought that was cool because it was a big twist where someone actually got out of the life and just whatever. And, Caroline's married to somebody else, so 2 people had to have gotten out of it to get engaged and just leave and go wherever the heck they are right now to work and do the news. So I like that. The stone thing, like I said, just the speculations, even what you had, like if Joe was brought back and had the twins were resurrected as well, how that would affect things. And if she becomes the huntress and weird stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't really pay any attention at the end of like the silhouette of the person, so I don't know if it's the same body shape or anything, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it though. I think this season actually got a surprising amount of cool stuff to offer. It was like, of course, losing Elaine and the big deal, but I think they're kind of, with how they're playing it so far at least, I think it's pretty cool. Like in the glimpses of the future, and I guess everything in the present is fairly typical, but the glimpses of the future is pretty cool. And the Phoenix Stone being this powerful thing that's so simple, literally just throw it on a dead person and boom, you got it done. So it makes it easy to do, and they'd have to write like crazy to somehow not make it happen instantly, because and of course there's going to be like 3 episodes of research before he does it, but he's going to do it, so I think we all know that. But
I'm interested to see Joe come back. She's one of the only non-basic females on the show besides Bonnie. So, yeah. And yes, I'm calling Caroline basic. That whole thing where she wanted to deny that she had feelings for Stefan. First she was so in love with him, then she was mad at him for not being in love back when he didn't even know. And then, like, once her mom died, she didn't even want to let him be there for her. Anyways, I'm sorry. That was a tangent.
just issues with her character.
Yes, I liked Joe. I actually liked Joe, and usually when there's a romance involved, I'm just like gag. But Joe, I think she was a solid witch. She cared about the people around her without making stupid decisions all the time because of it, and I really respected her for that. So I was kind of upset when Kai just like stabbed her, but he needed to go. We couldn't deal with 3 more seasons of him.
Good villain though. Was a
good
fun
villain.
Definitely
Good
fun
villain. Very well acted. I don't know what the actor's name is, but good job. Good job to you.
But fun episode. Looking forward to the next one. I forgot what the preview was. It was basically Damon going after the other heretic that we haven't met yet. So his plan to get the coffin back, and I'm sure other various side stories. But good episode. Of course, want to know what you guys thought. So please comment below. Let us know your favorite thoughts, your least favorite thoughts. Or favorite parts and least favorite parts and least favorite thoughts. You have a big question that you would want answered, or you want to know what other people think about?
Am I the only one who really thinks the mom is like a basic B word? Am I the only one? Or is she hated by more than just me? I just feel like her character, she just inexplicably loves these people for no reason. Sure, she has a bond with them, I acknowledge that, but I just feel like she's really basic.
Okay, we got, is she basic or not? My question...
Is she basic or not?
My question would definitely be what you guys think is going to happen with this Phoenix Stone, because now it's linked to whoever this mystery huntress is, which is still like my favorite part, even though it's literally just a glimpse. But I don't know why, I'm just looking forward to that. Like, we've had a million villains. We've literally had the originals who, well, they killed two. They killed one in the Vampire Diaries. They've killed others off in the originals, but they faced almost everything. It's almost like Supernatural. They've just faced whatever, and you kind of don't think anything could stop them. But for some reason, the Huntress thing interests me, so now it's connected to this resurrection thing. I want to know what you guys think about it. So please, for both questions and just the episode in general, comment below, let us know, and thanks for watching.